Happy Monday, yearbookers. I hope you're ready for another great week of all things journalism and design. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about theme. Now let me start by telling you about my son Camden. When Camden was about 4, I hope I can find a photo to show you, he was very much into dressing himself. He wanted to dress himself for school and for church everywhere we went. I'll do it, Mommy, I'll do it. And he would run to his room. He was so excited. I'd say, Camden, just make sure your clothes match. Just make sure they match. And he would come back and he would match all right because he'd have on like a green shirt and green pants and green socks. Oh my gosh, so I'm editing this video and Camden just walked in and you have to see what he's wearing today. He understood when I said match for it to mean it had to be identical. And I don't really mean identical. I mean coordinated. So I had to stop using the word match and start saying, make sure your clothes go together and that they complement each other, which is quite a lesson for a 4-year-old. But if you think about it in terms of yearbook, it's a lesson we can use for yearbook as well. Let's look at some examples. This book, the theme is Never Really Over. And you can see from the cover that we have an assortment of different visual aspects to the book, as well as some verbal aspects. So the first one is going to be the dots in the background. And then we have this variance in the width of the font, the boldness of the fonts here. We have stacked text, and it's 2 separate texts. One is in black, one is in color, and one is a more fancy font, a more decorative font, while the other one is a more basic font. And then we even have this little handwritten font kind of inserted over here on the side. And so when I open the book, I'm expecting to see something similar. I want it to match the outfit, but I don't need it to all be green. You follow me? So let's open the book and see how they did. Right away, we see they've used the dots. They're not the same color, but they work. They're still recognizable from the cover, even though the color is different. They are still using the same stacked text. Only this time, they've put the fancy font on the top and the simple font on the bottom. They've switched which one has the color. It's different, but it's still recognizable as the theme. So when you start building your theme and you start designing your cover, I want you to think about things that you can do 3 different ways. If I use this element in my book, in my theme, in my graphics and fonts, can I use it 3 different ways throughout the book so that I don't get tired of always having on green?
Hey guys, Lauren here. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the page ladder. And the way that you get here is by going under Plan to Page Ladder. Once you're in the ladder, this is where you're going to decide what's going to go on each page of your yearbook. So in order to edit this, all you need to do is click here, and here's where you can add your sections. So this is your opening, and then you can add a description for the page as well. So this is going to be your title page. That's right, page 1 is the first page of your book. It is not the cover of your yearbook. That's a pretty common misconception. So you do want to design on this first page. Once you assign a section and description to the page, you can also assign a deadline to that page. So all of your deadlines are pre-populated in here. So if this one's going to be submitted in your first deadline, you can select that date. Then in here, you can assign staff members to your yearbook page. So you can assign up to 2 staff members on each page. You'll also notice that you have the ability to apply a master template to your pages. Some schools choose to have more than one master template, and you can design those in the page designer. That's a place where you can add in your page numbers or any graphic elements that you want to go on every page of the yearbook. So here's where you can either apply the master, that's the default, or if you want to turn the master off on a specific page, you could do that as well. Once you're done doing all of your edits here, you want to make sure that you hit the Save All button up here at the top left. And I also want to mention these 2 buttons here. If you did this last year and you have descriptions on each of your pages from last year's yearbook and you want to carry those over to do the same thing this year, you can click this button here. And if you wanted to have your pages have the same templates from last year, you can actually load last year's page designs by clicking on this button. If you have any questions at all, please reach out to Kim, Sarah, or me.
Hi everyone, Kim here in the office. It's late Friday afternoon. I hope most of you are already started your weekend. I did want to talk a little bit for something about clubs. Clubs are one of the hardest things to cover in yearbook. Sometimes they meet erratically, sometimes they don't meet at all. And sometimes it's just hard to get pictures because there's not a lot of action. So the first thing I recommend doing is to print out this form, and I'm going to show it to you. It's in our lovely Google resource folder. It's the club information form. Does everybody see that? And it allows you to go ahead and get information about the club, when they're meeting, who their offices are, and then you can pretty much tell which clubs are going to be active. I would tell them, you need to return this form so we know what to do and how to cover you for the year. So if you need this form or you can't find it, just let Sarah or I know and we'll send it to you. Some of you are going to start getting links from your photography companies to show you that your yearbook pictures are ready, or there's some sports pictures ready. This is a word of warning. Make sure before you download those yearbook photos that you check to make sure that they include all of your makeup day pictures. If you haven't had makeup day, then obviously they're not in there, and this can be a huge problem. I like to wait until all the pictures are there, including the makeups, so that we don't make a mistake and leave somebody out because they were not in the original upload. Also, if you have any problems with how to download or use their systems, let us know. Very important, never upload the photos to Yearbook Avenue yourself. We have to send them to the plant, and we'll send you a little link to do that. You can zip the file and then send it to the plant. It must include the index file as well. And it is very, very important that you send that, because that way all your names will flow in with your pictures. If you upload them yourself, you'll have to type in every name. That is not what we want to do. This is one I got from Austin Ridge that said that their yearbook photos were ready. So I looked through the link and I found that this is the only obviously file that it can be, which is their zip file from September 3rd, 22. Now, I want you, if you get one of these as advisor, to go now and check, have we had makeup pictures? Call your photography company, ask them, make sure you know before you send these pictures to the plant. Just a warning and a word of advice, because I've seen this happen year after year after year, whether it's Life Touch, Strawbridge, it doesn't matter. Just we have to be careful to get everything.
I visited Panther Creek High School this week and happened to walk in right as advisor Courtney Black was giving a lesson on yearbook vocab, and I love how she explained the use of white space. So I'm going to share that with you.
Where do you want to see that? Always on the outside of the page. Okay, white space is a great place to put the white space on the outside of your page. White space can be very artistic. Okay, it's not, you don't have to cover every single part of a page in order to make it interesting. Like over here we have this white space and it's very intentional, but yet it doesn't make the spreading look, it doesn't make it look bad. Okay, it almost enhances it because you don't have so much going on. When the eye has so much to look at, okay, it likes to kind of like go around the page, but you know, it just makes it look kind of, not necessarily, just makes it look kind of clustered and confusing. So you don't want every single space on the page to be covered. You do want to make sure that you added some good bands of white space in order to create the design that you're looking for.
One final thing I want to share with you, and it's called Ready, Set, Go. It says you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. This is kind of a checklist of things that hopefully you have done by now. And if you haven't, it just is a reminder of some things that you can be doing. They're all hyperlinked with activities, lesson plans, ideas, especially things like how to check out cameras and why that's important, and how you know what each piece of equipment is and that you have inventory of it. And I do hope you're following us on social media because we are a lot of fun. So we're going to send this along to you on Monday in our tip. And you guys, let's make this a great year.